Claxby Hill. We had a very long, homemade Norwegian-style sledge.
No, not that.
We hurtled down, we hit what not to be disturbed.
Go and find her. Where are you going, Master? For a drink?
Okay, you guys want anything else?
3 butterbeers and some ginger and lime, please. 6 shots of giggle water.
Pete Earl Grey, huh?
This snake juice is basically rat poison. Spent my whole life right here in Lackawanna County.
Drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Shut up!
Hey guys, welcome back. This round is on me, and if you have found yourself one booth down, welcome. A doctor, a lawyer, a pilot, and a professor, and our live audience on Patreon have all walked into a bar.
Pew, pew. This episode is
We
brought to you.
started the finger guns early.
This episode is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
Oh, see, that's foreshadowing right there, ladies.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we've got a great show for you tonight. Coming up a little later, we are playing. It's probably my all-time favorite game ever that we've played on the podcast. But we are later. We're going to be playing "Don't Get Me Started," and wait until you hear these topics.
Oh, you've brought topics?
Go yes. Oh,
hot topics.
Just wait.
Oh,
But
dear.
first,
All
we're
right.
going to lead out like we always do with the dailies. Now, Cody, do your finger guns.
What are we gonna call this?
I write for the Daily Prophet.
That's crap.
I want the name of this flying whatchamacallit to go with the Daily Planet like bacon and eggs.
Crap.
Daily Bugle.
That's pretty good. But it's taken.
No, I was going to say with your silence.
Hey, we're sticking up this joint. Yes, eh? Yes.
This daily ain't big enough for the two of us. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew,
See?
pew, pew.
Didn't Batman show up last time?
Right?
Well, we went to the Wild West here. It's Lego Batman universe.
Oh, there you go.
All right, guys, welcome to the dailies, current events, releases, and obsessions that are actively feeding our fandoms as we speak. I'll go first this time, not to jump the line here, but when this episode comes out, pulling the curtain back a little bit, we record these live with our patrons at the first of the month. So this one will likely be releasing a little bit later in the month, but the news still should be the same. Warner Brothers have officially confirmed the cast of 6 members of the Hogwarts staff for the upcoming Harry Potter TV show. You know, Cody had talked about Skeleton Crew last time, and I wanted to bring it up then, but I held off.
Oh, no. He turned this into a 6-parter. He just said 6 of the staff.
We have a
He's got
new
a 6-part.
sexy Dumbledore, John Lithgow.
No, Nick Frost, who played SM-33 on Skeleton Crew, is going to be Rubius Hagrid in the TV show. He is often co-paired with Simon Pegg for
the Great
Hot
Club.
Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. He is taking on the mantle of Rubius Hagrid, and
He's gotta
as
be
Cody had
amazing in
said,
that.
that was my one fan cast that has come true. When I mentally cast this series in my head, it had Nick Frost as Rubius Hagrid, and I'm over the moon about it. But John Lithgow is playing Albus Dumbledore. Janet McTeer is playing Minerva McGonagall. Papa Isidu is playing Severus Snape. Nick Frost is playing Rubius Hagrid. Luke Fallon is Professor Quirrell. And the only returning actor from the movies to assume a new role that we have confirmed, Paul Whitehouse is playing Argus Filch. And previously, he played Sir Cadogan in the painting in The Prisoner of Azkaban.
No.
And he is coming back as Argus Filch.
And Dallas McKinney will be the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
You could have asked
I'm just going to
me.
hold my mouth open and you're going to put fire in it.
Lithgow, after the crown, on board. 1,000% on board.
Does he do a good British accent? I only know him really from his American roles, in particular on Dexter as a villain, which is one of the best casting choices.
I haven't seen him in Dexter. My two prominent my two prominent roles where he was physically on screen, and if you had a third for Lord Farquaad in Shrek, was Dick Solomon from Third Rock from the Sun and Winston Churchill from The Crown.
And he's
And
a spot
honestly,
on Churchill.
If you blend the curmudgeon-y British grandpa of his Winston Churchill with the kooky alien from Third Rock from the Sun,
Yeah.
That's kind of Dumbledore, isn't it?
That's Dumbledore.
Yeah.
in a nutshell. I hadn't seen a lot of Janet McTeer. Of course, the Papa Sidhu, being a black man, playing Severus Snape, has caused all of the uproar that you would imagine that something like that would cause. And I think people are trying to justify saying some really cruel things. Cruel, there's an R in that world. Cruel things, because Warner Brothers did say that this is going to be a faithful adaptation of the books. And I think Rowling had some sketches where she had said what Snape had looked like. And I'm not saying that, well, we know from, was it Colin Farrell who did the Penguin on Max?
Yeah.
We know that you can get ugly and hook-nosed and kind of menacing looking through prosthetics. That part I'm not worried about, but I'm reserving judgment until I see his performance. My only worry, it makes me pull on my collar, is the scene in the Order of the Phoenix where James and the Marauders essentially string him up under a tree.
Oh, yeah.
They use magic to do so.
Yeah.
How that scene is going to read with him being a black man.
Now, actually, they have done, HBO has done something similar on the TV show Watchmen, which I was never a fan of the comic or the graphic novel. I didn't care about the movie by Zack Snyder. Didn't care. And I watched the show and I was like, I really want to like this world. And I loved the show. And racism was a huge component of that show. It tackles it very eloquently and very delicately. And I think, seeing HBO's track record, they will do a fine job handling that.
I do too. Yeah.
So
my read on the whole situation is that Alan Rickman as Severus Snape is as iconic of a performance as Robin Williams as the genie.
Yeah.
Like, they are one and the same. And if you're going to attempt to redo it,
well, be careful where you're going with the genie analogy, because Will Smith may come out and smack you now. Just it's
right. Well, but
easy.
Going the hip hop direction with Friend Like Me and taking it in a completely different, because they knew that if they attempted to mimic Williams, that it would just completely pale in comparison.
Are we getting hip hop Snape?
I can only hope.
The clunkiest lines from the genie in the live action Aladdin were like where he was trying to like replicate Williams.
Yeah.
When he got a chance to be original, he was great. He was great in the role. But
that's big news in the Harry Potter world. The casting has been announced for the TV show. This, at least, there's some rumors right now, which when this comes out, they may have been confirmed, that Tom Felton has been in talks
to play Lucius.
I'm hoping.
Like,
he will be the exact age that Lucius Malfoy was in the second book when that airs, like to the year. Like, he would eat it up.
And that means he will be on the 15th season of The White Lotus eventually, completing the cycle of playing an evil
and then he'll
wizard.
be the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars. And then
that was a Jason Isaacs reference for anyone who didn't understand.
Yeah.
Is there a role that if they cast him in that you would be like, daggone it? Like, if they're like, he's James Potter. Would you be upset?
No, he has been vocal about he would love to be able to play Lucius now that he's reached that age. And so he has always been really active inside of the wizarding world for promotions and things like that.
He's one of the few that was just like actually in love with it, though. Like, he cared.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, meanwhile, you've got Harry Potter is now naked on stage. What's happening here?
Like,
what are we doing, Daniel? Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe's like next role was like, I'm going to do theater with my wang out. And you're like, oh,
What?
no.
That's a weird version of Cats. I don't know that.
I thought
That
the
tail
tail's on
goes
the
on-
backside. He said the magic word.
like, the Trinity, the Trinity felt like
trio.
I've heard them called as the Trinity before.
God
like,
is in this.
Yeah.
Chili's tonight.
The trio, they feel like almost too cool for school at times when it comes to Harry Potter, but it's always been like the B Squad cast that are always like more engaged with the fans. Your Nevilles, your Dracos, your Lunas.
Cody and I think Cody's episode of Potter Plus, we talked about this. I would love for Dan and Bonnie to be James and Lily as a passing the baton, but if it's Tom Felton playing Lucius Malfoy, I'm on board.
Absolutely.
I'm on board. So
Cool.
very excited about that. But we might as well get his like 7-part 2-episode daily out of the way. Cody, what do you have?
Well,
everything that's the color blue.
The sky. My shirt.
I just needed to be excited
fish
about
tank.
Star Wars. I hadn't been excited about Star Wars in a long time.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, this might actually be one of my classier Dailies picks.
Ooh.
I have become a viewer like you. I have recently yes.
I get it now. Okay.
He lives on Sesame Street now.
It's great. It's wonderful. Oscar is in is in the back. He makes sure that all the trash taken care of. It's great. Love
It's
it.
a shame that they blew up Big Bird on the Challenger, but
Sad.
school teachers, what are you gonna do? Did you all not know that Big Bird was originally going to be on the Challenger?
I did not know this.
When they sent school teacher, what's her name, to space? Yeah, they were going to send Big Bird too.
I did
and
not
they
know
were like,
this.
yeah, that's not going to fly. I mean, it's about education, but yeah, Big Bird almost blew up. You're welcome.
That
KFC was going to sponsor that.
You would have seen the feathers.
That was made up. That's made up. That may have been a bridge too far right there.
But I have recently
Thank you, Hugh, for your support.
to PBS Passport, which is PBS's paywall for kind of access for the back catalog, and have now officially become a donor of public broadcasting.
Wow.
For years when I was in law school, KET, which is Kentucky's PBS, I would get on the PBS app and watch KET stuff as like, oh, this is like my connection to home, keeping up with things that are going on at home, and homesick about Kentucky, that sort of thing. And recent developments seemed like they could use some cash at the current moment, so I just decided to throw a few dollars.
Where's
Mr.
Rogers
that way.
to give an impassioned speech in front of Congress when you need him,
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed. But I had recently I've been getting into the Ken Burns documentaries.
Ooh.
And have been watching I finished his documentary on Prohibition.
Oh.
Now,
nice.
That is an era of history I did not know much about, funny enough, in terms of like the semantics of it, like what all went down. And I just want to highlight one of the famous bootleggers during Prohibition, Mr. George Remus. He was a Cincinnati bootlegger whom, always kept...
Wait. Can we get Keith David to do this? Can you do a Keith David impression?
Look, I am not disrespecting that man. Like, I am not...
Okay, all right. Listen, it's a Ken Burns documentary that you're quoting. I wanted to, do it.
Well, I'm not quoting,
properly.
but I'm just going to highlight this gentleman because this man lived well. He lived a full, maybe not well, but a full life.
He shot a lot of people.
Right, yeah.
George Remus
lived well.
was one of the famous bootleggers of Cincinnati. He always kept the feds on their toes. And he got caught after his wife had an affair with the agent that was on his toes. He got sent to prison.
You get that on them big jobs.
He got sent to prison for I believe it was 2 years or something. He got out of prison, got to his home, and his wife and the agent took everything that he had from his home.
The agent was both undercover and undercovers.
Indeed.
Rude of him.
Indeed.
He was
And then
indeed.
one day he was driving along. He saw his wife on the side of the road, had his driver pull out the car, shoot his wife in cold blood.
What in the Shawshank?
He goes on trial. Pleads the insanity defense, and gets off. He gets acquitted.
Not before the agent did.
This man is currently buried 30 minutes away from me.
Have you visited his grave?
I am going to, and I'm going to have a bourbon bottle full of flowers to say, you lived a full life, sir. Well done.
Okay. You know what? This was worth every penny of your subscription. This conversation right here.
So, I have
This right
become,
here.
and long story short on the PBS conversation, I grew up without cable TV. We did not have, my parents did not have a stable internet connection till 2017.
He is not wrong.
And
That's
so
about 2017 years too few. Like they had
we didn't have stable internet. So we had rabbit ears. We had antenna TV. So PBS for me was a very formative part of my childhood. On the larger question, I was an intern. I was a journalism major my freshman year at Morehead State Public Radio. So this side of sort of like public broadcasting, public media has a very special place in my heart. And it's even branched out to other countries as well, if you look at my podcasting feed. And with the BBC and Ireland. But what?
It's growing, guys. It's growing.
It's growing.
Gotta contain
But
this.
I
It's spreading.
just KET, one of the darlings of the state, one of the things we can hang our hats on and say that the state does and does really well.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth our support. So first, a call to our audience. Follow us on Patreon. Give us money first.
Yeah.
And then donate to your local PBS station.
Yeah. We'll have links to both in the show notes below.
That's awful. And I love it.
Alex, what do you have?
So, breaking my
Sesame
rules,
Street.
sort of. It's a twofer, but not in the way that you think.
Oh,
I
man.
was recommended a book series called The Murderbot
Yeah.
Diaries.
Yeah, those are good
And
ones.
they're pretty good so far. And I've started getting into it, and I thought, wow, this is a decent read. And then I found out that David S. Goyer of The Dark Knight and Foundation fame is now making a Murderbot series for Apple TV.
No
And they just
kidding.
released the trailer for it, and it stars Alexander Skarsgård. It looks phenomenal.
Skarsgård.
So
Huh.
it as a quick little read, there's a couple books in this. I mean, and if you look, it's not like a very they're short, easy reads, all things considered. I've just started getting into it. The tone of the show looks very good. The idea is an android humanoid robot protection model out on a space job, discovers that he has consciousness, and no one else knows, and he is trying to evade detection, because if you are a murder bot, as he has named himself, then not everyone is going to view that the same way. So it looks interesting.
He's like space RoboCop, right? Like he
Kind
has a
of.
job, and that's it.
Yes.
And he's not
Yes.
supposed to be anything else.
Correct.
Yeah. I think I
And you're not supposed to think thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I listened to a few, and they ended so fast that I was like, was this a short story?
Yeah,
But they're really good, though.
Yeah, they're not like very dense. They're pretty
Yeah.
quick read. I mean, I kind of just started reading it, and I was like, this is enjoyable. And then lo and behold, I'm like, they're turning it into a show. What? Especially
Fantastic.
when you're talking about someone who has already proven themselves to nail the tone of a series. Like Foundation was Isaac Asimov books that were just like scattered, didn't have a real great through line. There are people, of course, with any work of art, they're like, oh, they've kind of like not taken the exact thing that happened in one of 17 books. And it's like, he's nailed the tone. It's amazing. So with something like this, where it's a bunch of disconnected, well, as far as I understand, they're not super connected short stories.
Right.
I think he will be able to weave a good through line. So that's Murderbot.
So the majority of the dialogue is just with himself.
Internal monologue. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they still, how are they going to do that?
They, as far as the trailer shows, they have Alexander Skarsgård like talking about it, talking out his inner monologue thoughts as things are going on. That's what the trailer shows. I don't know if they're going to keep that all the way through. But yeah.
Right.
Murderbot. That is my daily.
Neato for Tito.
Book and TV version.
Yes,
so that's
and I will link.
That's why I said it's a twofer. In air
And
quotes.
I'll link both of them. I'm adding it to my card right now because I've been looking for a good, like, just easy read, escape sci-fi.
I will say the writing style is a little unique because it is all like inner monologue. So you have to be in the zone for that. It's a weird. I don't always do first person like writing as well. Like it doesn't resonate for me as well. But I like a third person POV. I don't know why.
Well, Dallas, what do you got?
So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I play video games.
What? Dallas, why didn't you tell me?
The platypus.
I know.
A video game? Dallas playing a video game? Yeah. No.
Is there a
shocker?
Is there a video game set in that universe? Is there?
Well, there were video games like during like the era in which Phineas and Ferb was coming out, like DS games.
So a Phineas and Ferb DS game.
Video games. Video games. You were playing
not a Phineas and Ferb game. It's an older game that I have gotten back into called Project Zomboid, and it's a PC game that I picked it up in early. It's still in early access, but I picked it up a long, long time ago. It's an indie company making this game, and it was supposed to be like very low graphics. It's like isometric style, but lots of really deep systems going on all at the same time, and it's like the zombie apocalypse style. But there's like the water system will eventually get shut off because the world has kind of fallen. Electricity eventually will get shut off, and like you can get infected by zombie stuff, but you can also get sick if you're in the rain too long because your clothes are now wet, so you need to do this. Or if you've gotten too much dirt on your clothes, you better go do this so you don't get sick. And so deep systems, but very simple game. And a buddy of mine got it, and you can play it multiplayer. And I was like, I've never played this with people before. I think that would be fun. Like, it starts out the game, like, when you click play, it's like, this is the story of how you died, because you will eventually die. And so we have played it, and we are just as bad with 2 people as we are with just 1. And so you would think, zombie apocalypse, like, you're out there fighting zombies, like, you're gathering things. But the last time we played, we spent most of the time, he got bit on the hand and accidentally stepped on broken glass. He got an infection, which made him have a temperature, and he just walked around the house because it kept saying he was too hot. So he's just walking around in his underwear going, I can't leave the house because my guy says he's too hot. So I just have to stay in this house in my underwear until I eventually turn into a zombie. And that's all we did. And it was fantastic.
That's just a typical Saturday for me.
It was. I would go out and like scavenge stuff and fight zombies and come back, and he's just like sitting on the couch. I was like, this is not the zombie apocalypse that I had envisioned, but maybe it's the one that we deserve. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is more realistic than I had ever thought.
Well, Dallas, I still do appreciate how quickly you and I settled into a domestic relationship when we played Minecraft together.
We really did. We was like, here's our farm, and here's our house.
Which one of you is the chicken jockey? I don't, and for the record, I don't understand what that means. It's something
exactly
to do
what
with the
that
movie.
means.
Okay, perfect. But
Yes.
see, I just see it online.
I have.
Which one of you in this domestic relationship is a chicken jockey? Is this a slur? Is this a bad thing?
That means
I never mind, and I barely craft. I don't like.
I mean, I'm
I've played
chronically
Minecraft
online
since it was like a concept in a Java app in a browser back in was it 2008, 2009?
I only know that someone built a full Windows 95 computer inside of Minecraft.
Yep.
I'm
actually podcasting through Minecraft right now. I'm running this in my browser in my Minecraft.
I'm sure someone has done that.
I'm sure it could probably happen.
I'm actually playing Minecraft on Minecraft, and I'm doing this podcast through that browser. So it's like 6 levels of Inception deep.
Do I have permission to actually do a twofer, by the way?
When have you ever had to ask?
Never. No. Twofers are not
You're opening Pandora's box.
You are the one who imposes the rules.
Twofers are not allowed.
This is so unlike me. But I have just been so reminded of a video from someone in the Kentucky sphere. I know none of you sports ball at all, but there's a gentleman by the name of John Boyce who was a writer for SB Nation. It's a sports group.
Sports Ball Nation.
Exactly what it stands for.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. John he hails from Louisville, Kentucky. And so I have a fondness for him. In fact, for a long time, his profile picture on Twitter was Hobbes of Calvin and Hobbes fame. So I love him even more. However, he has a video series called Pretty Good, where he tells stories that are pretty good. Now, generally, they are sports related, and he does them all in spreadsheets. And it's an entire video in a spreadsheet, and you go, this is absurd, right? However, John bought a mattress back in 2018, and he started getting more marketing emails from the same mattress company. And he's like, this is a little silly that someone would send me another ad. And this is a 30-minute video where he's like, let's play a game. The game is every time the mattress company sends me an email asking me to buy another mattress, I am obliged to buy another mattress. And so he builds out an alternate reality for the next 30 minutes where he buys a mattress every time the mattress company asks him to. And it is one of the most delightful videos I have watched in forever. And it just hit my brain based off something that was said. And I was just like a turn of phrase. But I just had to share that.
Send it to me. I will put it linked to
it has to be. I didn't even think about it until this moment, but you all need, first of all, you three need to watch it. Everyone in the chat needs to watch it. Everyone listening in the future, it's going to be timeless. I will spoil a little bit for you in the sense that he winds up realizing, excuse me, mattresses are to be enjoyed, and therefore I can't just pile them up or put them in a storage unit. They must be accessible at all points. And he has to start renting apartments just for his mattresses. That's all I'll say.
How rich is this guy?
Well, you're asking a question that he actually asked. Emily, you were delightful. You've dropped it in the chat.
She's already put it in there.
I'm going to watch it right now. Everybody just hold on.
Yeah. The whole podcast is now just a let's watch with
30 minutes
Anyways,
later.
You're asking a question, Cody, of like, how can he afford this? And John's like, don't ask. These are my rules. I'm inventing this game. So it is I didn't think I could laugh as hard at someone fake buying mattresses as I did, but I audibly laughed at too many points. But yeah. So fellow Kentuckian and mattress connoisseur, John Boyce, thank you for a story that is pretty good.
Well, that's incredible. We'll link it in the show notes. We are going to take a break, speaking of incredible stories. And when we come back, we are going to hear very impassioned speeches about topics.
Multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Oh, don't
We
do
are
that
going to
to
play
me.
Don't Get Me Started whenever we come back, so we'll be right back.
I'm gonna go as fast as I can so I don't miss anything.
Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom first?
I gotta go to work.
We'll return after these messages.
This episode is brought to you by the Big Red Button Podcast.
Do you know what you'd do in a nuclear apocalypse?
Because we sure as quack don't.
See how our choices get us into trouble and back out again in this actual play podcast.
Big Red Button is for lovers of the Fallout franchise, choose your own adventures, and tabletop role-playing games rolled into one big audio drama.
Our band of stragglers is unraveling a mystery in the wasteland, and we're at the mercy of the roll of the dice.
So grab your Geiger counters, take your rat away, and subscribe to our new show, The Big Red Button.
Oh, shoot, did I miss the halftime show? Gosh dang it, who'd they have?
What are you doing in here? You're in here. I pay for that privilege.
I'm feeling much better now.
Yeah, I'm having an heart attack. Get back to work.
I hope it got everybody amped up, specifically Dallas and Alex. We are going back to the top of the round, playing Don't Get Me Started. And if this is your first time joining us, Don't Get Me Started is our game where our resident rantmaster, Dallas, challenges one of the three of us to a rant off. And how this works is I will present a topic, and both of them have to go on an extemporaneous, off-the-cuff rant about that topic with no preparation whatsoever. And the topics tonight, I actually went to my lovely bride and I said, I need 3 things that you have very strong opinions about, because I need to get Dallas and Alex's opinion on those.
I am so ready.
Okay, so I got my coins.
And are we still doing a time limit as years gone by?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
no time limit. Oh boy,
that's what editing's
time
for.
Limit. Okay. Dallas, this is for who goes first. Call it heads or tails.
Tails.
Tails. Ooh, Dallas goes
because
first.
I got this tail back here, and that's also where my chip's at. That's where my chip to buy things is.
Call back.
My tail
Dallas,
chip. Yes.
I want you to get started. And remember, you start this out with "Don't get me started." About the Oxford comma.
Do not get me started about the Oxford comma. So, out of all of the different commas that we've ever had, and I think we are up to like 56 at this point, the Oxford comma has caused more problems and confusion than any of the other commas in the world. And it all started when Henry Ford invented the automobile en masse. We had to start phasing out all other means of transportation and moving goods and services around. And so, if you've ever played the game, which is a historical throwback to the Oregon Trail, generally you would use oxen to get places like far away. And so, as vehicles became more and more prevalent, Henry Ford single-handedly got rid of the popularity of all oxen. And so it caused this giant rift in people. And they called it the Oxford debate, because oxen were just killing them. They had no place to put them. You know how much an ox eats? More than a regular person does. And if you've ever had oxtail soup or oxtail in general, it's garbage. Yeah. And so there's really no use for them anymore. So they were just killing them off. And so all these ox farmers and ox factories, or wherever you do things with oxen, were going out of business, and people were just in shambles. And it was all because of Henry Ford, right? I didn't say Gerald Ford. Henry Ford. And so it caused like a moment in time, like a pivot point in the Industrial Revolution. And the reason why that we have Apple today is because of this one point in time, and they call that like a pause, like time stopped for a second, like a comma, like a rest, and it is the Oxford comma, and
like
that
when
is
you're in
why
the hospital and you're asleep for way too long and your brain's only semi-functioning. You're in a coma.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we're in today, and that's where COVID came from. That's all I have to say.
What a leap.
Nice little stinger at the end.
Wow.
That's where it went.
See, this is going to be really hard for me because I actually do have strong opinions on the Oxford comma.
I did too.
Tell us I should not have gotten you started. Yeah, we heard him. You heard it.
Yeah. I didn't feel strong about that one, though. I just, man.
You didn't feel it in your jellies.
I didn't.
Alex. The Oxford comma.
Don't get me started on an Oxford comma. And the words of, Vampire Weekend. Vampire Weekend.
Oh.
Who gives an F about an Oxford comma? That is their famous line. William, where are you from?
I am from Kentucky.
That's right, Kentucky. and an Oxford comma. Since when is punctuation getting Ivy League credentials? I'm sorry. Like, we've got an Oxford comma. Was there a Cambridge semicolon that I missed? Maybe a Harvard
William
dash?
has semicolon.
Oh, excuse me. I must have been absent that day when I started hearing about all these fake degrees that were just giving out willy-nilly. I think that it's watering down the integrity of our language. Like, we're having GoFundMes for endangered grammar right now. Like, what's happening? We care so much about...
That ship sailed in 1066.
Exactly. We're talking about this just like a curve. Like, let's eat grandma. Let's eat grandma. Who cares? Let's eat grandma. I don't care. Do you care?
Let's do it. I don't.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Thank you. And yet we're over here throwing hands on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter over a squiggle. A squiggle. Like, why do I care? You shouldn't care. I care, though. I care.
It's the hanging chat of punctuation.
It's worse. It's worse.
It undermines democracy.
It undermines our educational system because now we're just giving out fake degrees to punctuation. And I think that is actually ridiculous.
I shouldn't have got him started. And I can't shake the feeling.
I'm angry.
I'm angry. I can't shake the feeling that I would not donate to a GoFundMe for an endangered punctuation.
Yes.
In the arms of the angel.
And
also,
scene.
When you asked William where he's from, the panic in William's eyes of like, I don't know where this is going.
I don't
Dallas,
know.
I'm sorry. I'm giving that to Alex.
I really misstepped on that one.
I am, but you get a chance to prepare and turn around because Alex is going to go first. This time.
I'm giving it to Alex too.
What?
Hey,
you dog! I give it to Alex too.
Yeah,
I am so honored. I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my agent. I'd like to thank my mother. Not in that order. Of course.
I'm taking my vote back. Get the fish hook. Get him off the stage.
Thank you to my missus for some wonderful topics here and coming out strong again. Alex, I need your opinion on Florence Pugh as Amy.
Yes, of course. So, first of all, I just want you to say that you're making a big mistake because do not get me started on Florence Pugh as Amy. Cody, where are you from? Cody, where are you from?
You better give a different answer.
I'm from a river in Egypt.
Okay,
Denial.
so if you are anything like me, I grew up hearing Britney Spears talk about "If You Seek Amy," right? And she had
Taylor
very
Swift has a song
strong-
called "Thank You, Amy."
Exactly, very similar. And "If You Seek Amy," which when I realized it actually spells something out, we have strong opinions on Amy's. And if anyone should have played an Amy, it should have been Britney Spears. Clearly, she has dedicated her life to this role, and instead, get Florence Pugh, Midsommar. No, I mean, okay, sure, she's got range. Sure, she can play, just that nice girl. But what we really needed, we needed an unhinged, mid-40s pop star who couldn't even be trusted with herself. Probably on drugs. That's the Amy the world needed. If you seek Amy, if you seek her, you will find her, as Jeremiah says in Scripture. And if you seek Amy, it's Britney Spears. Clearly. It wasn't Florence Pugh. This is a horrible casting choice.
Is that the Scientologist translation of the Bible?
Hey.
Wow.
That's how I feel about this.
So it's not as much of a commentary on Florence Pugh. It's just the role.
She's miscast. She's miscast. Exactly. As Amy.
Britney Spears.
You said Florence Pugh as Amy. And as Amy, the problem is we already know from history and our upbringings in very similar.
So she's saying if you seek Amy, like, come to me. I know where she is because I know her so well.
Thank
so she
you.
would be able to.
Gotcha. You. It's ingrained into her. It should have been Britney Spears. I'm just saying.
Hard to argue with that. Dallas, what is your opinion?
Dallas, hit me, baby, one more time.
Yes.
Do not get me started on Florence Pugh as Amy. So, Florence Pugh, I don't know if you guys know who this is, because I definitely did before this started. And so, Florence Pugh, if we go based off just that name alone, that's all. Let's say that's all you had to go on. Yeah. Florence Pugh is obviously a very elderly lady who helped invent. She was a co-inventor of the modern pew that we all know and love, and that has been in almost every church at some point. Yeah, she. Do you guys know who Aunt B is? She's a very Aunt B-like figure because no one named Florence is under the age of 73. And so Florence Pugh as Amy is upsetting on so many levels because we all know that Florence Pugh is out there doing the Lord's work, hand-making pews.
She is.
Because she is. 1,000% she is. And so, as she was making these pews, she has to use a very special type of fabric. Generally, it's like an old blue or a purple. And so, the only fabric place that she could go to, she went to get more fabric, and it was run by the mob. And so, she kind of got tied up in the mob, and she had to go under witness protection. And she had to change everything about her life. And so, Florence Pugh had to become Amy. But her entire life was wrapped up in the pew-making business, and that's all she knew how to do. And so, she's supposed to be this Amy chick, living this ritzy life out on the town. And she just outs herself wherever she goes. Because they knew that this is all she... Yeah. So, like, they'll take her... She'll go to Wisconsin, and And they're like, your name is Amy now. And so she's like, fine, I'll be Amy. And she just goes around tinkering around like a little gnome and makes pews wherever she goes. And she, like, this is the biggest giveaway. So they finally got her to stop making pews. They're like, you have to do something different. You have to. So she works as a Target greeter because that's the only other option she had. But here's the problem. So as they're leaving, her signature move is like, she'll be like, bye, see you later. And she does this. Pew, pew, pew. And she does finger guns as they leave. She can't help it.
I love how there's another layer to this.
Because her second claim to fame was what we all know. Because guns don't make pew sounds. They make sounds. And so we get it because, see you later. Pew, pew, pew. And so that's how she greeted people at church. And she would do that, and the mob instantly knew, that's her. That's Florence Pugh. And so they come after her. And they found her at the bottom of a river, wrapped in the fabric that you make pews out of.
What? Since when have they started making pews out of fabric?
Like you cover the cushion parts with the fabric.
Oh.
Yeah. Do not get me started.
Here's the thing, Dallas. In our AI overlord, you will survive because that is the most human answer.
Is it though? Is it?
I don't.
I feel like I'm
happened.
still. My brain runs on first gen AI. That's
so. When we record Big Red Button, plug for our sister show. And William talks about how when I become Godfrey, I black out. I don't know what happens. That is what happens with you when we play Don't Get Me Started. You just become the story.
Yeah.
I go, what? Okay, I'm here for it. Go on.
I really didn't know where that one was going.
Me neither.
At every turn.
You were surprised too, weren't you?
I was like, this is gonna fall apart. Every time I took a breath, I was like, well, this is where I screw it up because I don't have anything.
Wow.
No, I think it's unanimous across the board. Dallas gets that one.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are tied, and
wow.
Here,
oh boy.
But Dallas has to lead off.
Dallas has to lead off on this one.
Oh boy.
Dallas.
Yes.
I need to know your thoughts. I need to know your opinions. I need to know the monologue that is just threatening to burst forth from you on the Lennox Spice Village.
Okay. Do not get me started on the Lennox Spice Village. That is what you said, correct?
That is indeed what I said.
Okay. So, when we were growing up as kids of the 90s, early 2000s, there was a hit band group called the Spice Girls. And so, the Spice Girls were a gigantic hit. They sang all kinds of songs. You guys probably know what they are. So much so I don't have to mention any of them. And so there are all kinds.
Yes, you don't.
Just tell me what you want, Dallas.
Right? And so they were very famous because they did not use their normal names. They were different types of spices. And that is kind of what took on their persona. That's who they were. And so you had Baby Spice, you had Amy
what was
Spice,
the other one?
you had
Amy Spice.
Yeah. Scary Spice was one probably.
And then the seasonal member Pumpkin Spice.
Pumpkin Spice. That one was a Starbucks ripoff. And don't get me started on that. That's a different conversation. And so there were all these, but they didn't tell you about. There's a mountain of bodies. A mountain of bodies of people who were also Spice Girls. But they were just like on the albums that never got any credit whatsoever. Like there was always something about them that made them not be like stage presence Spice Girls. Like there was something about them that didn't sell on stage, whether it's like the glass eye or the wooden foot or whatever it was, the tail that surgery couldn't remove. Like there was always a reason why like they couldn't be on the stage for whatever reason. And so they took all of these Spice, because they were like, you know what if we took all of these misfit Spice Girls and we took a piece of each one of them and we put them together and we make one whole Spice Girl. But they obviously, because they're not idiots, they had to have some sort of operating system to run that Spice Girl, and so they weren't going to pay for it, so they used Lennox, and so they call it Lennox Spice, and that was that Spice Girl. And because her voice was auto-tuned, like she was so good that it ruined the Spice Girls. That's why they had to break up. And so each Spice Girl went on to do their thing, like they married sports stars, or they went and did this, and they did this. Well, Lennox Spice had to innovate somehow, some way. And this kind of lends back to the last episode when we talked about like obsolescence and like what something we talked to our grandkids about. Thinking into the future, Lennox Spice knew that AI and robots were going to take over the world. And just like planned obsolescence with iPhones or gaming systems, they get old and they get slow and people stop using them. And so she is creating, it's like a retirement community for old-timey AIs. Like the 12-fingered pictures that people used to generate, or the crappy screenplays that people would write. They all have to go somewhere. It's like an island of misfit toys. And it is the Lennox Spice, what was it, community? Village. And that's where people go. And it's also like it's down in Tennessee, like in Gatlinburg. So like you go and you're like, I'm gonna visit this little town and this little. So you can also buy little knickknacks of old AI creations and pictures of things down there as well. And they're all made by these AI trying to do their best.
And there's a lovely baker that makes raspberry pies.
There are. And that's where it's at. So don't get me started.
I shouldn't have. I should not. I should not have.
I'm also very sick, just so you guys know.
I don't like. Where to even begin on that one? But
I think we lost the chat. They're like, I can't do this anymore.
Don't get me started.
Don't do it, because I'm getting riled up right now. Just for the record, I'm a little peeved at. In fact,
go ahead, tell me.
No, don't get me started on this, William. This is ridiculous that we're even talking about this. William, where did you grow up?
My parents' house.
Okay, and in your parents' house, was there a family computer there?
Yeah, yes.
What kind of computer was it, William?
Windows 98.
Windows 98. That's a respectable computer. And would you call that a really exciting computer?
I mean,
was it like sexy? Was it fun to play on? No, they had pinball. Space pinball, right? You remember Space Pinball?
Space Pinball.
Shh. That was excellent. Don't interrupt me, Cody. I'm getting started. Don't get me started.
Well, actually.
Okay?
No,
was it a sexy computer? Was it
mean,
exciting? Or was it sad and beige, right?
Sad, no, but it was a computer, and
exactly.
I don't know. My Swits are my Swits
and it
are
did
petting.
the job. It did the
my
job.
Swits are petting so much. I can't even...
Don't you have warm, fuzzy feelings about that computer, William? Sitting at that,
yeah,
using MS Paint. That was a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was happy. It's what a computer is supposed to be.
Why does this feel like a therapy session?
Hold on. We're getting there, buddy.
Michelle.
No, and Cody, where did you grow up?
The same house, actually.
And did you have a computer when you were there growing up?
The same computer, actually.
And what kind of computer was it, Cody?
The one previously mentioned, Windows 98.
Amazing. And it was a good workhorse computer. It was a family computer. It's kind of like the trusty dog. It's the golden retriever of computers, right? It's got that warm glow to it. You can hear the little bit of a hum. You remember the hum it made when you turned on that
It was the first computer we had that didn't write with the blue screen of death.
Now, here's the problem. Along comes Macintosh. Now, it's a good computer. It's a decent computer, in fact. And it got better and better. And now the competition. You remember those ads? Dallas, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Moorhead, Kentucky.
Amazing. Did you have TV in Moorhead?
We did. We did have.
And do you remember the ads where they had, I'm a Mac, I'm a PC? Do you remember those? Where they had the really boring guy? He was flavorless, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and they
he
started saying, that Justin Long guy, he's pretty hot. He's pretty sexy. Oh no. Now, here's what happens, guys. Here's what happens. It became like the space race for, let's have the sexiest computer on the market. Let's have a spicy computer. And you know what winds up happening? E-waste. E-waste happens because they start saying, William, you need a new computer. Cody, you need a new computer. That Windows 98 computer that had all of those files that your dad worked on lovingly. The MS Paint files that you doodled with the mouse. That you spent hours making masterpieces on.
Filling
exactly.
in the holes.
And when you went to fill in that little section, it filled in the whole thing and you had to undo it and then redo and you created a little... Do you remember all those masterpieces you created, William? You remember? And they sat there for decades. And you know what happened? That evil penguin company called Lennox came in and they said, we got to spice things up. And so they start creating this garbage Linux Spice. Linux Spice. Oh, we got to make computers sexy and exciting. And your parents got rid of the computer. They got rid of that computer that had all of those MS Paint documents on it. They got rid of all the short stories that Cody worked on. They got rid of all of the PC games that Dallas played.
No one needs that much Jar Jar fan fiction. I'm just saying.
No, you do, Cody. You do. You poured your heart and soul into that. And you know what happened? Linux. Linux comes along and they say, we're going to do Linux Spice. But you know what the problem is? No one cares about Linux. And so what they started doing, this is where the e-waste comes in and it just grinds my gears, gets me all angry. Not only did your parents have to throw away that computer that had all those games on it, all those masterpieces that you spent hours working on. No, they throw it away and they get a Linux, and what do they do with it? They hate it. So they go to a Mac, or they go to an iPad even. They go real slim. They go back to another PC. And what happens to all those Linux spices? They don't put them in a landfill. No, that's wasteful. They put them in a Linux Spice village. It's ridiculous. Guys, it's ridiculous. They're taking all of these computers.
Is the Spice Village in the same town that my dog went to? So
it's exactly like that. Upstate New York where he's living on a farm. No, it's the Lennox Spice Village, and they're throwing away all these computers that are perfectly good, that have core memories on them, the little warm yellow sphere of happiness in your life. Lennox Spice Village is the cause of not only your sadness, the reason that you have to go to therapy. No, the Lennox Spice Village is responsible for thousands of pounds of e-waste every year, for lost works of art, for lost PC games, for lost Jar Jar Sith, Jar Jar the Dark Lord fan fiction, gone. All because of one stupid, horrible penguin company called Lennox trying to corner the market because we just got to be sexy, we got to be spicy. The Lennox Spice Village. Don't get me started on it.
I shouldn't have.
They
always
ridiculous.
said they would keep my.
I think I see a
ridiculous.
red. I think I see a red dot on your shirt from Linux fans. Like...
and scene.
I'm going to have to give it to Dallas, only because if there was indeed a retirement home for the 12-fingered AI generated image, the person baking raspberry pie. This tourist trap, I would go there. This is like, did any of you watch the Chip and Dale movie on Disney Plus where they actually had an uncanny valley? This feels like the actual uncanny valley, and I want to go there so bad. I don't give it to Alex just because he's brought up so much repressed trauma of all of the Microsoft Paint.
And you're gonna let the Lennox Spice Village get a pass for that?
No, I'm not. It's just
how dare they steal that from you? They stole that from you.
They did. But Dallas's gives me something. It doesn't remind me of what I've lost, and so for that, I'm gonna vote Dallas on this one.
Yes.
No joke. I literally tried to track down a Windows 98 virtual machine to try to put Windows 98 on my laptop, but valiant effort.
Make it happen.
Valiant effort. But I'm giving Dallas.
No, I was robbed.
This is all I have. When we play any other game, I am dead last every time. The only game I can win is the one where there's just no rules.
I would like to take this to the chat because I think I was robbed.
Valiant, like it was closer. It was close, but
yes,
it was
that one was a hard fart round, but
hard fart round,
man,
yeah, it was
hard
fart round.
Well, robbed. I was.
We're all gonna hydrate, carb load after that, and take a break. And when we come back, we'll have a listener submitted table topic, and then we'll head out of here. We'll be right back.
Are you going somewhere?
Well, yes. Urgent call. Unavoidable. Gotta go.
Excuse me. There's a sign at Ramsett Park that says do not drink the sprinkler water, so I made some tea with it, and now I have an infection.
I've just about had enough of you. I'll be back.
This episode is brought to you by Potter Plus, your podcasting home for the upcoming Harry Potter TV show and so much more. Join me, your host, William, and many other magical friends as we pick apart the past, ponder the present, and unfog the future of the wizarding world. Potter Plus is a production of the Grapefruit Network, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
And I am back.
How'd it go?
No, Pam. I'm back.
We have a new weather report. Lightning has struck. I repeat.
Gin and tonic.
Wongers. I don't know if they do bottomless gin and tonic, but we will find it.
Do you guys want to actually know what the Lennox Spice Village is, or do you?
Yeah, because I don't have a clue.
Leave it to mystery.
Googled it.
So
is it Lennox spelled like the computer or Lennox?
No, not at all.
Lennox.
Oh,
It's like Annie Lennox. It's a last name.
Annie Lennox.
Oh wow.
It is a shelf of tiny little porcelain houses that each represent a different spice. So you have a little paprika house, you have a little garlic house, you have a little
Lennox.
I wasn't
Spice
even.
Village.
You know.
What on earth?
I was like, this must be like some sort of like Linux showcase or something.
Olivia has some. Yeah. Hugh in the chat, his wife has got some of the Lennox Spice Village.
Yeah. Mrs. Janus.
Yes.
That's a rough last name to inherit, you know. She's like, I'm going to keep my maiden name after we get married. That's after a hard fart.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
hard fart battle there.
And Florence Pugh as Amy was
that's from Little Women, right?
Yes, of Amy from
Okay.
Little Women.
I know
that
in
movie
the dark.
is watched, but she was
yes, it is.
You watched Black Widow?
Yes,
she was Yelena, Natasha's younger sister. That's Florence Pugh.
Gotcha.
I'm still bitter.
I was close.
I made so many appeals to your all's sensibilities, and you just give it to.
That's where you got it wrong. You gotta just get weird with it.
It's embrace the chaos.
Tell an original story. Don't play to nostalgia. We've already talked about this and this concept.
That makes no sense. Every other time it's played to nostalgia with you two. I don't know what to do. I can't win.
No.
All right, guys, we're back. We're going to round out tonight with a table topic question submitted by a listener. This one also comes from our chat tonight. Emily in our chat said, "What's a superpower that you think would be fun at first, but would actually be incredibly convenient in real life?"
Inconvenient.
Oh, incredibly inconvenient in real life. Sorry.
Inconvenient. Yes. I'll go.
Okay.
I think it's the power of flight. And I'll tell you why. Because as a pilot, I do know that you lose 2 degrees Celsius for every 1,000 feet you climb. Now, to put that into freedom units, it means it gets chilly once you go up. So, if you try to fly, what winds up happening is you're going to need clear airspace.
Oh.
All right, but that's a good point.
Sorry, I'm still in don't get me started mindset.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think that what winds up happening is you want to go fly. You want to fly a far distance. You're going to have to start going up in altitude, but it's going to get cold. So I'm going to dress for the temperature up there, but then I'm going to get back down here on the ground and I'm like, whoa, it's 1 billion degrees. That's very inconvenient after a while. So I'm going to have to wear layers.
That's true.
Do I have to do I wear a backpack with me so I can put my change in there? There's more logistics to it. It doesn't mean that it's a bad superpower. It's an inconvenient superpower.
Sure.
Do you think that the dude that invented the pants that zip off into shorts could fly?
The breakaway pants? Probably.
Yeah.
Kind of like Michael Jordan in
I
Space
looked at
Jam.
it from a more how to keep my power secret, because if I start flying, some satellite is going to pick me up.
Okay. So you're thinking like superhuman, super hearing, or read minds, or like that you can use it and you're not glowing or flying or lasers are coming out of.
Not like William when he
orifices.
gets optimistic and it's just radiating.
Right. I would want to fly, but I would also want invisibility as well, just so that I can fly unabated. I can fly, free from surveillance, free from that. But for me, I'm going to pick, I've been listening to Braving the Elements, the Avatar: The Last Airbender podcast.
Okay.
And I would say firebending, would be an incredibly inconvenient power to have, because...
Starting bonfires, lighting candles romantically, starting bigger bonfires.
But I know
maybe also lighting more candles for a romantic bath.
Yeah.
Lighting more bonfires.
Romantically.
Sounds pretty convenient.
Knowing my actual coordination skills, I would set my town on fire every week.
You're like Abed
Cody
when he
found
goes
out
into
that
the
he
village or the community
Cody
game
only-
where they accidentally set the entire town on fire and kill everybody.
Cody would find out that his firebending is activated when he sneezes as well. And
This sounds like an episode of CSI where they show up and they're like, "This man's burned to death," and they're like, check his diary, and he's like, "I just learned how to bend fire," and immediately he's.
Yeah, the only firebending comes out of my rear. It's just,
But it's CSI Miami, so they're going to have some quippy one-liner like, man, guess his day wasn't off to a hot start. And he flips on the glasses and it's
but there's a reason why Force Lightning is a Sith power.
Thank you.
Because it's pure destruction. There's no positive. There's no positive thing you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do with it. So I feel like, and they address it on the
you
show
can
that
light candles. You can light bonfires.
Yeah.
Romantically, I might add. Can you imagine reaching forward and being like, "Hey, girl," instead of like putting it out, you're like lighting it up. Like, oh,
You know how popular you would be at a NASCAR race? You can light every Marlboro in that whole place without it moving.
Anybody got a light?
That's why I'm Team Waterbender.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
But you have to make the noises.
Yeah. Florence Pugh, the firebender.
Like, I have been Team Water since 2005. I feel like that one would be the most useful in like day-to-day life.
That's true.
But firebending would be inconvenient. I'd probably pick super hearing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or mind reading.
Yeah, because if you could isolate it, but you would end up hearing.
There was a Twilight Zone about that.
I
just feel like
A Penny for Your Thoughts is the name of the episode.
Yeah.
It's great. He flips a penny into a charity box. It lands upright, or a quarter, and it lands upright on edge. And he develops the ability to hear everyone's thoughts.
See, that's the one where it's like that would sound good, but like the anxiety of like, I bet they hate me, and then just knowing all the time, oh, they really do.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
They really saw me bend over and saw my crack. I didn't think they did, but I heard that thought. They 1,000% did.
You turn around and be like the show? Yeah.
I have some...
Wait till you see my firebending ability from back there. Top of the morning to you.
Painful experience on the people that I like didn't actually like me in return, and I don't want to know.
Cody, I have great news for you. The three of us, we tell you when we dislike you, but we actually like you quite a bit. We're very honest people.
I love you right in here and a little bit right here.
Oh, look,
and sometimes.
Look,
In my
the healing from those moments was the fact that I found my people, and 3 of them are in this cyber room right now.
Oh.
Yes.
In your Lennox Spice Village.
Well, Emily, I don't know what you expected from that question.
Wait, did we get Dallas's?
Mind reading.
Mine was mind reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it was too. Okay.
But I hope that it exceeded your expectations. Guys, we did it. Another night of live episodes in the bag. And if you have made it this far, this round's on me. And if you want to join us live, you want to toss a nut to this knut, or no, toss a knut to this knut, or toss a coin to this witcher.
You pottered too close to the sun there.
I did.
Speaking of Harry Potter, I have a question. If they were going to do a redneck Harry Potter, could I be Dumbledore if I look like this?
Dumbledore.
Like this recorder is my wand, and I wore this hat.
%. Yes. Yeah.
All right, now you got to have Arthur Weasley.
Harry Potter, who put your name in the LA bottle of fire?
Arthur Weasley's still Arthur Weasley. He's like, now what's the function of a rubber ducky? Because I can't figure it out. And in NASCAR, do they always have to turn left? Because I just don't understand. It's always left. Do they ever go right? Because I feel like going right would be a little more fun. Like Arthur Weasley. But Artie Weasley.
Yeah.
Artie.
Art Weasley over there. He runs that tire shop.
He's a real odd duck, you know?
I love it.
Well, if you want to support this, you can visit us on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Grapefruit Network, because A Doctor and a Lawyer Walk Into a Bar is a production of the Grapefruit Network. To find out more about this show, you can visit us at drandlawyer.show. And to find out more about the other shows inside of our network, visit us at thegrapefruitnetwork.com. And with that, I'm going to head out of here. I'm William.
I'm Redneck Dumbledore.
I'm George Remus's biggest fan.
And I am tonight the biggest loser.
Oh.
That's not true.
Oh.
Goodbye.
We'll see you guys next time.
Oh.
Maybe I'll get sympathy points. That's all that matters.
Those are the only points that count.
Are you kidding? I'm working.
All right, I'll be right there.
And grab the movie. Go, 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 go.
Come on, Goodbye, my friend.